Well, hello, I'm Dr. Julia Royston. This is the day that the Lord hath made. I shall rejoice. I shall be glad. I shall sing sometimes. But I'm thankful to be alive one more day. Woo, crossed over on Thursday to year 62. Year 62. Oh my, oh my. So first off, my parents always told me to say thank you and to acknowledge anybody, any place, anywhere who does anything from holding a door to saying hello to buying a book to doing business, signing a contract, whatever that is. I just first off want to say thank you. I appreciate all the text, all the emails, all the calls, the cash app, all of that. I appreciate it. I really, really do. And all the Facebook inboxes and all that stuff, all of that. I appreciate it. I really, really do. Because people do not have to stop and acknowledge, be nice. Um, People got lives. There's a whole lot going on. And so I just want to take this time, first off, to just say thank you. I may not be able to respond and put a like to everything, but I just want you to know publicly how much I really, really appreciate everyone taking the time to celebrate on my birthday. And after, and 2 days, and people are still finding it, and I'm still thankful. Special shout out goes to my family always, especially Mr. Brian Royston, who always worked very, very diligently to make my birthday extra special. I'm not hard to please. I'm really a very basic, simple girl. So he did over the top this year for my birthday. So I really, really, really appreciate it. Love him dearly. Thank you so much, sweetie. Appreciate all that you do. So today, God's been dealing with me and talking to me and dealing with me about a lot of things. And something that I really want to encourage you even more to do during this season of what I think is in, we're in a season of transition. And today I'm talking about transformation. Um, the scripture that always comes when you talk about transformed, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you prove what is the good and acceptable will of God. And one of the main things is you got to ask him. You got to ask him. And sometimes I know that that can be kind of scary. Like, I don't know whether I even want to say yes to that. But you got to always remember that God has your best interest at heart. And he does want what's best for you, even if it stretches, pulls, extends, takes you out of your comfort zone and takes you into a new place. You get in your feelings, you get your feelings hurt, you get disappointed, especially by people's reactions because they don't understand why. Because God gave you the vision, he didn't give them the vision. And sometimes, and in a transfer, especially this year, I'm celebrating, really, really acknowledging as well as celebrating 25 years of a major transition of my life. Like 2000, we were more concerned with whether the computers were going to crash and all that. But my whole world got flipped upside down in the year 2000. And so, therefore, I had to walk away, walk into, remove, purge. I've talked about it on several occasions when it made sense. But this is 25 years later, and I'm in a new life that beyond my wildest dreams. And yes, it was hills and valleys and curves and, like being on a roller coaster ride. You're going down, and I love roller coasters at Kings Island, but at 62, I don't know if I'm gonna get on one, but going down and then going back up and then swerving to the left and swerving. Well, that kind of was my life in the year 2000. I mean, and don't let them go into some dark tunnel. You can't see your way. And so, therefore, that a lot of times is the case. It seems like a dark tunnel, and that scripture, we walk by faith and not by sight, becomes more and more evident. As the end time, as the time of God's return, I think we're there. I think he could come at any time. Nobody knows the day or the hour. So, therefore, whatever he wants for you to do, whatever he needs for you to do in this season, you need to be doing it. You need to be moving toward it. You need to be getting all the information you can get. You need to be following people that have your best interest at heart, or speaking your language, or have at least been to and through what you're going to and going through right now. And fortunately, you're going through it. And but you got to think about the next generation. If you have children in your house, what does that look like? How you spend your time, who you spend your time with, how you spend your money, and what you do with your money. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm really not. My mindset 25 years ago with money and business was totally different. I thought by 2000, who knows, we might have been in heaven already, but we're still here. He hasn't returned. And so, therefore, I have to look at things differently. Being in retirement, being in business, all of that has to be changed, and all that has to be critically and looked at. I was talking with somebody, what do you think about whatever? And they were like, oh, well, I usually kind of live in the moment. I kind of wait on as they say, the shoe to drop, everything to blow up. I said, and then you do something? You don't? Wow. Okay. And I realized that they weren't in a state, or they weren't in a position to even hear about change. They weren't even in a position to even think differently. And sometimes God does have to. I acknowledge that. Sometimes he has to blow it up. Sometimes he has to close the door. Sometimes he has to lock you out. Sometimes they don't call you. Sometimes they do block you. Sometimes they do delete you. Sometimes that new client doesn't come. And sometimes, I'm sorry, as much as you pray and fast, they do foreclose on your house. They do put that notice out there. They do shut it down because he warns you ahead of time, but you didn't move forward. So therefore, it's a transformation that has to happen. Something has to be done differently. And I can only say that 25 years later. And so I can sympathize and empathize with anybody who's looking at it going, why do I have to change? Why do I have to transform? I said those same words. I don't know. But now, 25 on the years later, on the other side, I realized God saw what I didn't see. He knew what I didn't know. He knew an opportunity was going to come. And it wasn't just money, but just an opportunity to step into a new space, a different space. And I was qualified for it, but I hadn't been fully prepared for it. Because first off, that had to happen was a transformation in my mind. I had to be able to see differently and think differently. So there was a school and educational process, a training and a tutoring process that had to happen for the new, that I had the character foundational truths from my history. But there was a training process. It's like going away to college to be a doctor, or going away to college to be an engineer, or whatever it is. That, you can have good foundational skills, and you can have, you won't steal, and you have those 10 commandments, basic things, but there's still some training and tutoring that has to happen before you step into your next position, before you step into the next place. And even every year as a teacher, we had to do professional development. So there's some transformation that has to happen before you're able to receive the new, or walk into the next, or even be sustained at the level that you are now. To be able to sustain yourself requires some level of knowledge, some level of training, some level of transforming your mind, how you think. I can't tell you how many things that God spoke to me about in the transformation process. I changed my favorite color. I didn't even know I had one. I think green is still high on the list, but it changed the I started having specific things that he wanted me to see and he wanted me to recognize, because they were key elements for my next. They were key elements for being remarried. They were key elements for business. They were key elements. And you got to be hearing that. You can't just read the word, which you should. You can't just pray, which you should. It's not just fasting, which you should, but there are some strategic moves that you have to make. Transformed by the renewing of your mind, Lord. Help me to think like you wanted me to think. Help me to see what you want me to see. Help me to say what you want me to say. Help me to have my ears unstopped so that I can hear what you're saying and I don't miss the mark and I don't miss the opportunity, the window. Now, it's not to say it won't come back around again. What God has for me is for me. Yes, it's not only a song and it is truth. And nobody can stop that. But what state are you going to be in? What state is the situation going to be in when it comes back around? I'm 62. I ain't got time for the come back around. I want to do it now. I don't want to miss it. So sometimes I got to stay late. Sometimes I got to get up early. Sometimes I have to say no. Sometimes, oh, I'll get that load of laundry tomorrow. Oh, wait a minute. I'll put the dishes in the dishwasher instead of washing them by hand. I mean, all those modifications have to happen and changes and adjustments have to happen. When you see something different, when you know in your knower something's coming and you have to be prepared for it. But be not conformed to this world because this world would have you fearful with no strategy, will have you panicking, staying up at night, and won't know what the next steps are. Just keeps fear on top of fear because God has not given us the spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind. See, we're back to mind. We still back to the head. We still back to the brain. We still back to the eyes. We still back to the ears. It's all about what you're thinking, what you're seeing, what you're saying, what you're hearing. And we walk by faith and not by sight. That's that inner act. That's that inner spirit, the inner part of you that only he is that you got to tap into him for. Because you can't go by what you see. Now, I can't do nothing without my glasses. I need them because I'm very extremely nearsighted. So I have to have them to see. I wore contacts for a while, but as I got older, they were irritating. So I went back to glasses so that I could see not only what's in front of me, but then I need God to tell me what's even beyond what I can see with these natural eyes. I need to be able to see what he has around the corner for me. My 3 to 5 year plan, he's got to give it to me. And if tweaks and adjustments have to be made and the new word, I already have my word for 2026. Yeah, that's the way I work. That's the way I move. Now, all kinds of things could happen, but I already know where we're going in 2026. I have a direction. I have a highway. I have a mode. But I had to be transforming my mind. I couldn't listen to everything and everybody. I had to, tune into God and then pray and then tune back into God and say, are we on the right road? I love the GPS because it says, oh no, it don't talk when you're on the right road. So sometimes I go back and say, oh, am I on the right road? Am I going in, because I need to be transformed by the renewing of my mind. There's a transformation coming. There's a transformation happening actively. Whether you're ready for it or not, it's going to happen. Whether you're ready for the new, the new systems, it's going to happen. And you got to decide, am I going to be left behind or I'm going to be right on time? Or I'm going to prepare my life for what's coming and what's here, what already is here. So let's think about the Transformers real quick. The Transformers were, they looked like cars, but then they could turn into robots and stand straight up. They were machines. So I have to ask, as a transformational being, what else are you? I meet people all the time. Oh, I'm just a housewife. I'm just a. Okay, that's how you see yourself. But what does God see? What does God know? Now, timing is everything, and some things you can't step into because your children are small, but they're not going to always be small. I'm seeing right now online so many parents that are like, oh my God, we went from kindergarten and now they're graduating from high school and ready to go to college. Yeah, it's overwhelming. You thought it was going to take forever, but here it is. Now we're here. Now you have an opportunity to step into something. But you got to know what that something is. You're not just a parent. You're not just a wife. You're not just a mother. You're not just a father. What else does God see you doing? Now, nobody said you had to go start a major corporation or business, but then there may be some other things that God wants to tap into. But you got to ask Him. Maybe you just call senior citizens every day and check on them. Did they take their meds? Do they need a ride to the doctor? It's something as simple as that. That's not small. It's a huge thing. As one with an 80 something parent, it's not small. It's huge. There may be a time you just send it inspirational messages. You just post inspirational things. But what else are you? And then next, ask God, give me your eyes. Help me to see what I'm supposed to be seeing. Now, be ready for that. I caution you of that one. Because sometimes you start seeing stuff you like, what in the world was that? I had one of those dreams the other night, and I'm still working, as they say, working with a prophet and an interpreter to figure out that dream. But when God starts showing you, because you are available to Him and you are ready to say yes, He'll start showing you things. He'll give you that insider, like insider trading, give you insider secrets. Sometimes it can be overwhelming. Yep. But you pray and say, Lord, help me to be wise. Wisdom was my word for 2025, to help have wisdom. And remember that in your head is your thinking, and your as a man thinketh, so is he. So help me to think like you want me to think about me, because that helps you, and asking God for that to show you. And then once He shows you, ask Him. He showed you, ask Him for the grace, ask Him for the strength, ask Him for the courage, ask Him just like he's done for all the men in the Bible. Ask Him for the courage, ask Him for the wisdom, to lastly to do it. Transformation, more than meets the eye. That transformation is here. Lord, ask you what, Thy will be done, Thy kingdom come, Thy will be done in my life, on earth as it is in heaven. Help me to have your kingdom be working in my life, and what that looks like. My prayer today is that you continue to walk in His way and be all that He's called you to be. Fulfill His purpose and destiny for your life. Make sure that you acknowledge Him in all your ways, and He shall. It's not might, it might, if He feels like it today. Don't work like that. Acknowledge Him in all your ways, and He shall direct your path. And if you seek ye first the kingdom, all these other things shall be added unto you. But seek ye first the kingdom. I hope that helps you. I hope that blesses you. That transformational piece is individual. I can only tell you my experience, and your experience may be so much different, so much quicker, so much longer, so much easier, so much better, so much worse. I don't know. It all depends on what you have the grace for. Working with clients, they're like, "Ooh, we don't know how you do it." I said, a lot of it is not me. I'm called to it, and I have the grace for it. Oh no, it's not easy. It's very difficult on a lot of levels, but I have the grace for it. God has given me the grace for it. And so my prayer is that He give you the grace for it too, as well, so that you can live your best life, which is coming up at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right there on envision-radio.com, where praise meets talk. And then at 11 a.m., Spike Davis and Friends show. Tune in for laughs, music, and more, because laughs are doing good like a medicine. Tuesdays is the Book Business Boss Show. Tuesdays at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on envision-radio.com. The replays are at the Book Business Boss podcast.com. That's the Book Business Boss podcast.com. Subscribe. All of season 1, 2, and 3 are there. The replays are there. So if you're interested, wanting to be educated, trained, I'm really not only handing people who are interested. Sometimes, there's so many options, whatever. You don't even know the right questions to ask. You don't even know what options that you do have. And so season 4 is on Tuesdays at 10:30 a.m. The first 10 episodes are already uploaded, or more, maybe close to 20, uploaded on the bookbusinessbosspodcast.com. And those of you who self-publish, we're talking about the book business. And so therefore, tune in. I really, really highly encourage you for that, that you tune in. Of course, if you need me, talkwithroyston.com, schedule a conversation, and we'll go from there. And then I'll strive to help you as much as I can. In Birmingham, you can purchase Julia Royston books at Spirit-Filled Christian Bookstore, Next Chapter Bookstore, gift shop at Ben's Boys in Greensboro, North Carolina, Brew and Sip Coffee Bar in Louisville, Janami Books and More in Louisville, and then follow the Book Nerd Fam as well online. Coming up. I'm Lord Be My Helper and Keeper. I'm headed to Nashville June 13th through the 15th for Elevate Your Classroom. So if you're a teacher and educator, yeah, I know we just got out of school. Graduations are probably still happening, but they're already preparing teachers and educating people for the next upcoming school year to be prepared for the classroom. So it's a never-ending process. I know people get jealous of teachers. Y'all off in the summers. When? Honey bunch, about 3 weeks, we might get free. But otherwise, we're thinking about it, preparing for it, getting ready for it. So elevate your classroom. Mr. Royston and I will be in Nashville and with books and materials and information and brochures and for to help teachers and educators and administrators elevate their classroom. And then the next weekend, a Juneteenth weekend, which Madam Walker Legacy Center is having their fourth annual Legacy Fest block party in Indianapolis, Indiana on June 21st from noon to 8 p.m. So June is jumping and July will be too. So we've got more and we appreciate everything, all of your support, all of your sharing, all of your referrals, putting me and others in inboxes on Facebook and sending me people's information via email. You ever have somebody says, I'm thinking about writing a book. I've written a book. I don't know what to do next. Tell them to go with talkwithroyston.com. That's the best way to contact me for a free consultation. And I'm with my head. I have to see you. I have to hear you. I have to hear your heart. My spirit of discernment is on high so that I can see your vision and then we can move forward. All the other websites and all the other information of everything that I have going on, go to juliaakroyston.com. There is two A's, Julia, another A and K, Royston. Yes, my parents gave me two middle names. Let's see who's on this morning. Hello, evangelist minister Peggy Dixon. So glad you're on with us this morning. I don't know about the preacher part, but as I say, I just give you what he gave me. And transformation and being ye transformed by the renewing of our mind is what has to happen so that we can prove it, so that we can do it, so that we can have it and be it, the acceptable, perfect will of God for our lives. And that's what I pray for you and anybody else who listens and those of you around the world. I'm Dr. Julia Royston, praying today, tomorrow, and always that you live your best life, be all that you can be. And I'm always here to build people so that we can both, and all of us, build the kingdom of God. Be blessed until next time. Bye-bye.